Good morning. So today we're starting the second part of our uh, thesis paper process. So it's really important that you started with Monday, September 28th assignment. If you're starting here, I suppose you could, but it would just be way harder than it needs to be. Definitely make sure that you got yesterday's assignment complete. And in fact, I even have yesterday's assignment right here open, right? Obviously, yours is already filled out if you've done it, but you are going to need this for today's assignment. So make sure that you go to, again, Monday, September 28th assignment. Make sure that you are accessing this because what we're doing today is we're writing our rough draft, right? And in order to write a rough draft for a thesis paper, which is essentially like an argument, you need information. You need to know what you're talking about. So here is what the rough draft paper looks like. So you can see that there are some instructions in the beginning, right? Kind of just explaining what I explained in a sense, but then it's also telling you what to do with these highlighted brackets. So if you've done the study guide, you actually know what these are. You know how to use these. But if you haven't, let me just give you a quick explanation. What this is basically like a fill in the blank. So like if you consider some of these things sentence stems, this is where you're actually writing in whatever it is you need to write. It's like here, right? If something is blank, that means that is related to the government and its actions. I would type in political, right? If something is political, that means it is related to the government and its actions. That completes the sentence. Keep in mind, though, that when you're writing your rough draft, you're not writing in facts necessarily. You're writing in more so, again, your argument and information to support that argument. So it's oftentimes not just going to be one word. Sometimes it will be whole sentences, right? Let's look at the introduction, for example. So the purpose of the introduction is to explain what the purpose of your paper is. Because this is a thesis paper, the purpose of your paper is to make an argument. Your introduction includes a thesis statement, which states what your argument will be. So you can see that I've already written a lot of this for you. Because this is the very first thesis paper that we're writing in this class, I really just want you to understand what it is that you're doing and the formatting of it, right? And making sure that you know how to organize your information, essentially. But we can see that I already wrote, during the era of colonization, people from Great Britain crossed the Atlantic and came to America for the first time. Some chose to settle in the southern region, while others settled in the northern region. The blank colonies were a better place to live because of their various geographic, economic, political, and social characteristics. So all you have to do in this introduction is you just have to pick either the southern or the northern colonies. And that's what you're typing in here, okay? And that's really it for the introduction, right? Some of these things are going to be more involved, like here, geographic characteristics. The blank colonies had a better geography than the blank colonies. So you would say either the southern colonies or the northern colonies had a better geography than the northern or the southern colonies. Again, just stating that one is better than the other, essentially. And keep in mind, you've already done this, right, in your outline. All you're doing now is, right, you would say the southern colonies, and then you're explaining the characteristics of the southern colonies, right? The northern colonies, and then you are, again, in this blank, explaining the characteristics of the northern colonies. And again, this is not just going to be one word. You're going to have to write like several words. It's going to have to be a complete sentence, essentially. And then finally, the blank colonies were better because, and this is you directly comparing the two. So again, in this line, all you're doing is explaining the geography of the southern colonies. In this line, all you're doing is explaining the geography of the northern colonies. Here, you're actually saying why one is better than the other. Why is it that you would prefer, or why is it that a colonist would prefer to live in one geography over the other geography? And that's pretty much it. Other than that, right, you're just doing the same sort of process for the other characteristics, right? The economic, the political, the social, and then finally you are, writing a conclusion. But again, you already have all this information. You shouldn't be having to find this or pull this out of nowhere or guessing, right? Don't do any of that. You already have all the information here. You have your opinions, you have your arguments, right? It's just a matter of putting them in the blanks so that you have a rough draft that really represents your argument. And that is pretty much it. So hopefully that all makes sense. Hopefully that's not too confusing or intimidating. I think it's as simple as writing a paper can get. But let me know if you need any help at all, and I will be happy to assist you.